Hello friends, welcome to my book cafe. It's been a long time no see. I've been very busy, and I think if you watched my last video, my brother was getting married and I was planning my sister's baby shower. All that is over and done with, and my sister actually had her baby, so I have a new nephew, and so that's really exciting. There was also a special guest on my last video, so I figured I would introduce her to you officially, I guess. Lucy, come here. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is Lucy. She's very stubborn. Anyways, she loves attention, so she was trying to lay on me when I called her. Anyways, so, yeah, this is her. Say hi. She's a stinker. So, anyways, this is Lucy, and we love her. So, all right. Okay, Lucy, go. So, I'm here to film my April reading wrap up. I am 2 months behind. I haven't even made a TBR for this month yet. It's been, kind of interesting. I've been kind of just doing whatever, but I read 14 books and I had 2 DNFs. So that's the 2 DNF thing is crazy because I don't DNF books, guys. It's just not something I do. And so yeah, anyways, I've been trying to become better at doing it because life is too short to read books that I'm not enjoying. So yeah. Editing Hannah here. I forgot to even update you on how I did with my TBR code names for April. The prompts were Leprechaun, Pan, Unicorn, Engine, America, Whale, Himalayas, and Temple. And I had, for Leprechaun, I had According Miss Lancaster by Sarah M. Eden, and I did read that one. For Pan, I had The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I did DNF that one, but I'm still marking it as completed because I did try to read it. So, then Unicorn, I had The Penderwicks at Last by Jean Birdsall, and I did read that one. And I had Engine next, and that was for The Christmas Bus by Melody Carlson. Then I had America, and I had The Lady of Tarpon Springs by Judith Miller for that prompt. And then the next prompt was Whale. And for that one, I had Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, and I did read that one as well. The next prompt was Himalayas, and I had A Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance, and I did read that one. And then I had, the last prompt was Temple, and that one, the book I had for that one was A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers, and I did read that one. The first time I've completed my TBR completely. So, back to the regularly scheduled video. My first book that I read was The Penderwicks at Last by Jean Birdsall. That's how you say her name. It's not Jean, which is what I was saying before. It's Jean Birdsall. I rated this one 4 stars. This was the last book in the series, so I completed a series. That's amazing. And speaking of series, I will be making a video at some point going through all of the series that I'm in the middle of because it's a lot. It's at least 60 something. So anyway, look for that to come out eventually. Anyways, so The Penderwicks at Last. I really enjoyed this book. It kind of wraps up everything pretty nicely in a bow at the end. And yeah, it follows one of the oldest sisters getting married, but it's from the perspective of the younger ones. So anyway, I did really enjoy that. The next book that I read was Crank Palace by James Dashner, and this one was 3.5 stars. This just follows Newt and his descent into madness. If I'm not going to give like a synopsis any more than that because if you're reading the series, it'll spoil some things for you. So that one was pretty good, but yeah. The next book that I read was Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, and that one I rated 4 stars. This was a buddy read with my sister, my one sister, and we really enjoyed this book. It would have gotten a higher star rating if there wasn't so much cussing, and a little less sciencey things. Like, I just didn't really care about like the science of the whole thing. But it followed, like, the movie follows the outline pretty well of the book. There were a few differences. Editing Hannah here. I wanted to mention something too. The little girl character that is in the movie and the one that's in the book are, I do not remember the little girl being so annoying in the movie, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, because the little girl, I forget what her name is, but the little girl in the book is incredibly annoying, and she literally almost gets them killed multiple times. So I'm so glad that they changed her in the movie, because she is insufferable in the book. Anyway, just wanted to add that in. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. We're planning to read the second book in the series this month sometime, and so I'm really looking forward to doing that. So the next book that I read, and this one was the one that I was a little wary about telling people that I was going to read last time. It's just controversial. Anyway, that is Hillbilly Elegy by J.D. Vance. And I really enjoyed this book. I rated it 4 stars. It is about JD's childhood, and he grew up in the Rust Belt of Ohio, and I have a lot of family members that live in Ohio, and I've just never heard of like the Rust Belt and stuff like that. So yeah, he did not grow up in a Christian home. And there, if you do decide that you want to read this book, there is a lot of language, a lot. And I actually listened to the audiobook, and JD actually narrates it himself, and I really enjoyed that experience. I would definitely recommend this book. It's cultural commentary, and I really enjoy reading books like that. And yeah, I definitely think that it is worth checking out. So the next book that I read was The Thursday Murder Club. I got about halfway into this book when I just didn't care anymore. It is just not for me. Unfortunately, it is very slow. There's too many characters, and I didn't care about what was happening to them. So I DNF'd this book, guys, and I'm gonna unhaul it, and I'm not sorry about it. I have been watching some videos of like people that have read this book, and it's just like, I know Wendy from Wendy's Inspired Reads, she DNF'd this book, and I wish that I would have saw her review before I even started it, because it's boring. We're gonna go to Courting Miss Lancaster by Sarah M. Eden. I love this book. This was a 5-star book for me, and it was super cute. And this follows the sister of the main female character in the first book, Seeking Persephone, and the best friend of the main male character. And it was super cute. The main female character's name was Athena, and it follows her going out into society, like coming out, and she like has like no expectations, like no actual expectations for men. She just wants to kind of like marry a rich guy so that she's not a burden to her family. Anyways, it's just not even just a rich guy, but just be married in the first place. Anyways, so Harry is the main male character, and he kind of challenges her on that, to kind of look for someone with to have higher standards of the man that she's looking for. Anyway, so it just kind of follows them, and they eventually, it's not really spoilers, that it's gonna happen, them falling in love with each other. And anyway, it's super cute. And I think I said this in one of my other videos, but I cannot wait to watch the miniseries. So anyway, I love that book. Great. Can't wait to read the next book. So now the next book that I read was The Magic of Lemon Drop Pie by Rachel Linden. And this one was a 4-star read for me. It would have gotten a higher rating if there was some touching that was kind of described a little bit, and then there was some language, and there was something else too. I can't remember. That just kind of made me like not want to give it like a full fart. The main female character is kind of pining after a married man for a little while, and if you read the book, you'll understand. It didn't like put me off of the whole book because of the context in which the story goes. So, the main female character is in her 30s. I believe she's like 35 or something like that, and she wants to be married, but she's not, and she just feels like her life isn't going anywhere. She's stuck in the diner that her dad owns. Her aunt decides to give her I believe it's 3 lemon drops that will let her live one day in a life that it'll let her change one decision to live life in a world where she would have made a different decision just one day. And I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. Definitely worth the 4 stars that I gave it. And I really enjoy magical realism, so it's not surprising. Yeah, and I remember what the other thing was. I had a little bit of mixed feelings about how it ended. So, yeah. Anyways. But yeah, overall, I thought it was pretty good. So, the next book I read was The Indian in the Cupboard by Lynn Reed Banks. And this is a middle grade. This is also kind of like magical realism. I did not read this when I was a kid, but I feel like if I would have read this book when I was a kid, that I would have really enjoyed it, because I love magical realism now, and so I bet I would have as a kid too. This book follows Omri, and they live in England, I believe, or he lives in England, I believe, and he gets this special wooden cupboard and a special key for his birthday, I believe, and he puts a toy little Indian into the cupboard, and he turns the key, and it's not like he's trying to do anything special, but it turns this little Indian alive. And I rated this book 4 stars. I just really enjoyed how thoughtful Omri was about the decisions that he made with the cupboard, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. Yeah, I liked it. So this will be staying on my shelf. Next book I read was The Lady of Tarpon Springs, is how you say it, I guess. I read this book with my sweet friend Whitney over at Whitney Marie Reads, I believe is her channel name. I can't remember. I'll link it down below. This one was a 3-star read for both of us. We kind of both ended on the same level. It's okay, but it wasn't like anything spectacular, and I probably am gonna unhaul this. The cover is stunning though. I love it. Anyways, but this follows Xana and Nico, and Xana is a lawyer in 1905, which is not it's not really common for women to be lawyers at this time anyways. So and when her friend Lucy inherits a sponging business, Xana finds herself agreeing to run it for her. And then Nico is the head of this, the dive team that comes to dive for the sponges. Anyway, it's their romance. They're learning how to run this business together. There's a little bit of a mystery. Something's going on. But yeah, it was okay. It was fun. I'm glad I read it, but I don't necessarily need to keep it. And yeah, buddy reading with Whitney was really sweet. So that was the best part of the whole experience. So anyway, the next book I read was Echoes from a Missing Generation by Christina Suzanne Nelson, and this one I rated 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one too. it was a dual timeline, and I just didn't care as much about the present day timeline because I feel like it spoils everything in the historical time period, which I normally care more about. And so that was kind of difficult. This follows a girl in the uh, present day timeline who is trying to help her grandma find out what happened to her husband. So it would be this girl's grandpa. And then it goes back into the grandma's, into the historical time period. And the grandpa's name was Bristol. And he was drafted into the Vietnam War. And all of a sudden, when he's supposed to show up for his draft dates, that he's supposed to be at the military office, he doesn't show up. And he's not the kind of guy who would shirk responsibilities, so he is missing and they don't know what happened to him. And you go into the present day timeline and you find out they never found him. And so I don't really like that part. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it spoils it all. Anyways, so you follow this mystery of finding out what happened to Bristol. And anyway, so I did enjoy it, and I really enjoy Christina Suzanne Nelson's writing. I just am sad whenever things I feel like get spoiled for me, whenever I'm reading a book, when it's not, I feel like it shouldn't be like that. Like, I should be finding out things with the characters. And yeah, it just, yeah, I didn't really like that part. So anyway, like, it was good, but it could have been better. So the next book that I read was Merry Xmas by Courtney Walsh. And this is my first Courtney Walsh book, and I'm sorry. This was a 3-star book for me, and I was just sorely disappointed. I've heard so many good things about her writing and her books, and this one, the characters it's a second chance romance, and I feel like I'm just not like the greatest fan of that, and unless it's done really well, and this one, in my opinion, was not done very well. I was just so disappointed because it seemed like the main characters held a grudge against each other for way too long. The main female character did not give the main male character space, and then all of a sudden they break up, and then they're just so angry with each other. Now, I love the main female character's parents. Now that is a romance that I would read because they're super flirty and they are just, I don't know, they're super cute and I like them, but I just did not really care about what happened. I cared enough to keep going with the story because it was a 3-star read. It wasn't a bad story. It's just like I just felt like there wasn't enough reason to be so angry at each other for so long. Anyway, so yeah, I think I might try Courtney Walsh again, maybe like My Phony Valentine or something like that, because I've heard so many good things about that one. But yeah, this one just, it didn't do it for me too much. So anyway, so the next book that I read was this book was on my 26 books in 2026 book list that I have. This is called Brides and Blessings by Molly Noble Bull, and I've had this book on my shelf for like a ridiculous amount of time. I literally have no idea how long I've had it on here. This is a love-inspired romance, and this is about twins that recently found each other. They were separated at birth, and one of them is an actress in Hollywood, and the other one is a church librarian in one of them is in Hollywood, and the other one lives in Texas. So they're very far apart, and it follows romances with both of them. And I wasn't expecting to enjoy this one as much as I did. I rated this one I forgot to write down what I rated it, but I'm pretty sure it was like a 3.5 star. But yeah, it was fun. I don't think I'm going to keep this. I don't really need to keep it on my shelf, but it was fun in the moment and I really enjoyed it. And I forgot to mention that the Hollywood actress is not a Christian and the church librarian obviously is a Christian. So it follows their journey to faith as well. There was, yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part. So yeah, it was pretty good. The next book that I read, I read this book for, it was a classic memoir for Anne and In Search of Wonders reading challenge for the year, and that is Gathered Together in My Name by Maya Angelou. And guys, somebody's gonna be mad at me. I hated this book. It was terrible, and I feel bad for saying that because this is a lady's real life story. But that is what I had the problem with. She made so many horrible, horrible, horrible choices in her life, and it just kept getting worse. First of all, she runs I really enjoyed, let's just preface this. I remember really enjoying I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I felt like it was pretty good. I liked hearing about her story, especially as a young child. And in this book, she is a young woman, like in her 20s. And I think she's like 17 when this book starts out. Anyway, she just makes horrible choices. And then if you think that it can't get worse, it does. She ends up going into prostitution for this man that she wants to be with because he's pimping her out and she doesn't realize it, I guess. Anyway, it's horrible. I would not read it. I'm sorry. And it was so depressing, and yeah, I have no interest in continuing the series. So unless, if you've read the series, does it get better than that? Should I continue? I don't think I'm going to. But yeah, I rated that one 2 stars, and I have no regrets for not wanting to finish the series. So anyway, it does kind of make me sad because this is about a real woman, but I have no interest. It just made me depressed. So anyways, yeah. Editing Hannah here again. I forgot to add in one book that I read that I did not finish. That was a book about Louisa May Alcott. It was called The Woman Behind Little Women, and I just couldn't get into it, so I did not finish that one. So anyway, back to the video. The last book that I read was The Christmas Bus by Melody Carlson, and this one is about, it says, welcome to Christmas Valley, Christmas capital of the Pacific Northwest, and it follows Edith Ryan, and she owns an inn with her husband, and it just follows a bunch of the guests that check into the inn, and I rated this one 3 stars. It was okay. It was fine. I found the ending to be a little weird. So yeah, take that with what you will. I will be unhauling this one as well. So, it was fine. Good. Glad that I read it, but yeah, I don't need to ever see it again. So yeah. Anyways, now guys, the last book that I have here was my favorite of the month, and this one was for Oshina's challenge, and this is A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. One of the best books that I've ever read in my entire life. I'm never going to forget this book. There is something about it that just, it grips you, literally pulls your heart out, throws it on the ground, stomps all over it, puts it back in your chest, and you're supposed to go on the next day like nothing ever happened to you. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but if you've read this book, you know what I'm talking about, because I will never be the same after reading this book. And this follows Hadassah, and it also follows she is a Jewish girl in the time after, it's about 70 years after Jesus walked the earth, and she is enslaved. And this follows around the time that, right before the fall of Rome. So she's a young girl, she gets captured, she gets put into slavery, and it just follows her faith journey throughout there. It's like everyday decisions that we make every day as well ourselves, even though this is a different time period. There are so many trigger warnings for this book. If you are interested in reading it, please look those up first. You need to be in the right mental headspace in order to read this book. The ending it's soul crushing, but you feel hope at the end, and it was just wonderful. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It was just, I'm so glad that I decided to join in on the Francine Rivers challenge, because she is such a good writer, and I love this book so much. It is, wow, it was wonderful. And you ever have those books that just sit heavy on your chest when you're done with them? That's what this book did for me, and yeah, I'm never gonna forget it. So anyway, really glad I read it. So that is it, guys. I had a really good reading month in April. May was pretty short, so that's going to be a short video here soon. But yeah, so I'm hopefully going to get a TBR out for June, but might not. It's been a little hard to film recently. So anyway, yeah, I hope that you all have a good day. And I hope that your summer is going well. Hopefully your children are out of school and you can enjoy them for the summer. And yeah, hopefully you get to go swimming sometime soon. All right. I love you all. Goodbye.